Alright, y'all, welcome back to another one. Today, we about to be reacting to God's Grove. We got the disrespect was unreal. Before we get into the video, make sure y'all hit the noti and subscribe. Let's go ahead and check this video out.
I want to show you guys a clip of when Dwayne Wade was introduced by a local politician as Wade Jones after the Miami Heat won the 2006 NBA championship.
He's calm, collected, has a will to win because his name, of course, is Wade Jones.
Now, I showed you that clip to make a point that is what an honest mistake looks like. It was forgivable, but the Miami Heat organization themselves, on the other hand, had no excuse at all for what they did. As we all know, D. Wade returned to Miami to close out his career where it all started. It was only right for him to finish there, but something kinda disrespectful happened right before tip-off of their 2018 home opener versus the Charlotte Hornets. As Wade was speaking to the fans before the game, the team actually misspelled his name on the giant jumbotron in the arena, as fans couldn't help but notice the error. Sure, I get that his name is already misspelled to begin with, and that his name is one of the most misspelled names when it comes to sports articles. But when you spend as much time together as the Heat did with Wade, they should have not let that happen. I know that this might not seem like the biggest of deals, but apparently it was a big enough deal to where LeBron felt the need to chime in on the situation. Quote, I mean, he's only played there 100 out of 101.5 seasons in his career. At least know how to spell my brother's name, Dwayne. Now, it was cool of LeBron to have his brother's back, but he's not entirely innocent either. You see, during the 2019 NBA playoffs, LeBron had plenty of time to himself due to the fact that his Lakers didn't make the playoffs that year. And while watching Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals between the Blazers and Nuggets, he made sure to give a shout out to a few players he saw wearing his signature shoes in the game. Quote, Daniel Craig, Mo Harkless, and Myers Leonard all rocking those Martin LeBron 16s on the court in the same game. Still so surreal seeing my kicks on others on and off the court. But there was one problem. He accidentally referred to Torrey Craig, who was the Nuggets' small forward at the time, as Daniel Craig. You know, the actor who plays James Bond. LeBron quickly realized the mistake and deleted the tweet, but by then it was too late. It was already screen grabbed for everyone to see. Okay, you may be thinking, how is this even disrespectful? All he did was just make a mistake. Well, Torrey Craig himself apparently felt disrespected because in just the very next game, Craig was seen wearing a pair of Jordan 14s. So perhaps that may have been a shot at LeBron. I mean, imagine if someone didn't even take the time to get your name right. You would feel some type of way too. Speaking of botching names, you'll be surprised just how often this happens. I can't believe how many times a team got their own player's name wrong when it comes to jerseys, and actually had them go out and play in it. For example, Dirk Nowitzki.
You're not gonna believe this. Dirk Nowitzki's name is spelled wrong.
Eric Bledsoe, Paul Millsap, Andre Drummond, Andre Blatch.
What's going on? Who handled this uniform? You know better than that. First comes the B, then comes the L, then comes the A next. We got to get that straightened out on Blatch's name. What's wrong with that group?
Wilson Chandler, Richard Hamilton, Zaza Pachulia, Chris Kaman, Chris Anderson during the 2004 Slam Dunk Contest, the front of John Wall's Kentucky jersey, and of all names, Jason Smith.
S-M-I-H-T as opposed to T-H. The H is silent apparently.
Most of them were somewhat excusable, but somebody really couldn't even spell Smith right? That's just pathetic. Their teams didn't even have enough respect to just simply double check and get it right. Okay, enough of that accidental disrespect. Let's transition to one where it was very much intentional. It was January of 2020, during one of Bronny James's high school games. As you can see, Bronny appeared to have been struck in the back by an object, which was believed to have been an orange peel. Then he and the official both turned to look into the stands, as the game had to be stopped, and security was immediately called to the scene to remove the fan. Eventually, it was discovered that it was actually a little kid who threw the garbage at Bronny. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, he's just a kid. Well, while that is true, even another kid calls him out on it. And of course, his dad, LeBron, didn't take it easy on him either. Quote, "Hating has no age limit." Here we have a bizarre situation where the Utah Jazz announcers thought that LeBron was the one dishing out the disrespect.
Big fella turns in a crowd, continues to fight, blocked again.
Look at LeBron, he's on the court.
With no shoes, mind you.
What is going on here?
That's some disrespect right there.
And then look at LeBron onto the court, no shoes on.
But little did they know, the reason that LeBron was shoeless was because he had just gave them away to a couple of fans moments before. We all remember when Steph Curry recklessly threw his mouthpiece into the crowd with anger towards the end of Game 6 of the 2016 NBA Finals. While it was pretty irresponsible for him to do that, I don't think he intentionally aimed at anyone in specific. It was just the heat of the moment. And while what Udonis Haslem did was also the heat of the moment, the difference is he deliberately tried to hit someone with his mouthpiece. That person being referee Joey Crawford.
Second quarter, look at this. Udonis Haslem, he wants a foul here, not going to get it. Takes out his mouthpiece and throws it at official Joey Crawford, just like his brother Jerry, the Major League Baseball umpire. He tosses Haslem. Riley didn't really see what went on, but clearly that is an ejection.
I understand that Joey Crawford wasn't exactly the most likable guy, but I think we can all agree that Haslem definitely deserved to be ejected from the game. When Andrew Bynum completely crossed the line by taking his frustrations out on JJ Barea as his team was on the verge of getting swept back in 2011, I'm sure we can all say that that was pretty disrespectful, but as we all know, sometimes words can hurt even more. In early 2018, JJ Barea and John Wall got into a heated exchange on the court.
And now some words between Wall and Barea, and a technical foul is called, I believe, on Barea. And David Guthrie just makes sure John doesn't get any more involved.
And what John Wall said might have went a little too far.
John Wall said some crazy shit to me one time, and I was like, Jesus, this guy's crazy.
Did he call you a midget?
He called me a midget. Yeah. And that came out of nowhere because I never had a problem with him.
But don't worry, he would fire back at Wall. Quote, "Now I have somebody in the NBA that I don't like. I don't like him at all now, but I don't think his teammates like him either, so it's nothing new for him." Back in 2016, during a game between the Lakers and Mavericks, you can see Kobe unapologetically kick Larry Nance Jr. out of his seat and orders him to go sit on the floor after he himself arrives late to the game. At first, I thought it was kinda savage, but then I realized that he could have easily just sat in the empty seat next to this woman instead of embarrassing the man like that. Now, I was gonna end it here, but then, upon researching, I got reminded of something that was also pretty disrespectful on Nance Jr.'s part. When Larry Nance Jr. was selected 27th overall by the Los Angeles Lakers back in 2015, all of his dreams came true. But those dreams quickly became a nightmare when an old tweet of his suddenly went viral soon after he was drafted. It was a tweet from back in 2012 when Nance was just 19 years old. And I'm sure you don't need me to explain what he meant by that. So now, after rediscovering this, I guess you can say that this unflattering tweet, combined with the fact that Nance Jr. was just a rookie at the time right here, that maybe he actually deserved to get his seat stolen.
I guess I don't know, man. Shit, I don't know, but hey, make sure y'all like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.